If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The rumors swirling around the NFL world this week is generating massive attention, and it's centered on a story that feels both shocking and somehow inevitable, as if the narrative had been quietly building beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to explode. Kevin Stefanski, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, has reportedly spoken candidly about his star quarterback, Kenny Pickett, in a way that has left fans both stunned and contemplative, questioning the dynamics behind the scenes. According to insiders, Pickett himself allegedly requested a trade or release from the team, a move that would fundamentally reshape the Browns' strategy and send ripples across the league. Stefanski's response, carefully measured yet unmistakably heartfelt, emphasized the respect owed to a player who has demonstrated both talent and ambition, highlighting a professional understanding that transcends fan expectations or media speculation. The implications are enormous. The Browns, a team still chasing consistency and playoff credibility, might suddenly face a period of uncertainty, and Pickett, once considered a rising star within Cleveland, is now at the center of trade rumors that could redefine his career trajectory. Sources suggest conversations behind closed doors were intense, but conducted with mutual professionalism, hinting at an evolving relationship between player and coach that is now in the public eye in an unexpected way, leaving the NFL world buzzing with speculation about what comes next for both parties. Analysts are dissecting every word from Stefanski, trying to gauge whether this is the calm before a storm of trade talks or a calculated move to prepare fans for a strategic rebuild that might include other players and draft picks, creating a narrative arc that feels as dramatic as it is real, with Pickett positioned at the epicenter. Reports indicate that the timing of Pickett's request aligns with internal team assessments and strategic planning, suggesting that the quarterback has weighed his options carefully, considering not only his current role, but also long-term aspirations and the trajectory of the Browns franchise. Stefanski, in addressing the situation publicly, attempted to balance transparency with discretion, acknowledging the personal dimension of Pickett's decision while underscoring the professional respect that guides the organization's response. The narrative emerging from Cleveland is complex. On one hand, a team grappling with the loss of a talented quarterback who could have been a cornerstone for future seasons. On the other hand, a player asserting agency over his career path, reflecting broader themes in professional sports where talent mobility and personal ambition often intersect. Fans, social media commentators, and sports analysts alike have jumped into the conversation, generating a flurry of theories, from potential trade destinations to the impact on the Browns' upcoming draft strategy. The rumor mill is working overtime, fueled by fragments of insider information, anonymous sources, and the natural human fascination with drama at the intersection of talent, opportunity, and ambition. Some speculate that Pickett's request could signal a broader shift within the franchise, potentially prompting roster changes, adjustments in coaching strategy, or even influencing the morale of teammates who must now navigate an uncertain landscape. Meanwhile, the media coverage has adopted a tone of both urgency and intrigue, painting Stefanski as a coach who balances empathy with pragmatism, a figure who understands that honoring a player's wishes is part of maintaining credibility, loyalty, and respect within a high-pressure, results-driven environment. Every statement, every carefully worded quote from both the coach and sources close to the team, is being dissected, parsed, and amplified across platforms, creating a narrative web that is as much about perception as it is about actual events, leaving the fan base and league observers alike on edge, waiting for the next development in what could become one of the defining NFL stories of the season. Insiders hint that conversations between Pickett and the front office were intense, thoughtful, and strategic, with both sides exploring options ranging from contract renegotiations to full trade scenarios, underscoring the sophistication with which modern NFL players manage their careers. The rumor suggests that Pickett's desire to leave Cleveland may stem from a combination of factors: playing style preferences, the team's current performance, and his own vision of where he can maximize his potential and market value. Stefanski's acknowledgement of Pickett's request is being interpreted as a sign of leadership and adaptability, a recognition that retaining talent requires not just contractual agreements, but alignment of values and career objectives. Analysts are examining potential destinations for Pickett, considering franchises with quarterback needs, strong coaching support, and the ability to offer both competitive opportunities and long-term security. The Browns, meanwhile, must now evaluate how to proceed without a quarterback who had become central to their offensive schemes, weighing options that range from promoting backup talent to aggressively pursuing trades that bring in proven players or high-value draft picks. Social media engagement is exploding as fans speculate about the ripple effects, rival teams watching, agents planning strategies, and even commentators drawing comparisons to historical quarterback departures, weaving a tapestry of narrative tension that elevates this rumor to headline status. The situation, though fluid, exemplifies the dynamic nature of professional sports, where career decisions intersect with organizational strategy, public perception, and market pressures, creating a multi-layered story that is being followed minute by minute. There is also a cultural component. Pickett's departure would mark a symbolic moment for the franchise, signaling a willingness to respect player autonomy, while simultaneously challenging the Browns to demonstrate resilience, adaptability, and vision in response to a high-stakes personnel change that could define the team's competitive trajectory for years. Reports from multiple unnamed sources suggest that Pickett's request did not come lightly, and Stefanski's response indicates a measured approach, combining empathy, professionalism, and a public acknowledgement that this is a pivotal moment for the player and the franchise. The rumor emphasizes that the coach understands the delicate balance of honoring personal decisions while safeguarding team cohesion, a challenge that has historically tested leadership in high-pressure sports environments. Some analysts speculate that Pickett may be leveraging his market value, exploring options in more competitive markets, or seeking alignment with offensive systems that better suit his skill set, reflecting broader trends in the NFL where players actively shape their career narratives rather than simply responding to organizational dictates. Meanwhile, the Browns must navigate both practical and psychological dimensions, addressing potential gaps in the quarterback position, maintaining morale among teammates, and preparing fans for a transition that could involve unexpected trades, draft maneuvers, or internal promotions. The media narrative is amplifying every detail. Quotes from Stefanski, historical performance data, and insider hints coalesce into a story that is part factual reporting, part speculative analysis, and part cultural commentary on player agency and team dynamics. Fans are vocal across platforms, blending hope, skepticism, and curiosity, generating a feedback loop that fuels further speculation and rumor proliferation. The unfolding scenario is being watched not just for immediate impact on the Browns' win-loss record, but for its implications across the league, as other teams assess the potential availability of a quarterback like Pickett and consider strategic responses, from trade offers to shifts in draft priorities. Ultimately, this is more than a single player's request. It is a lens into the evolving intersection of professional ambition, team loyalty, market dynamics, and public narrative construction that makes the NFL such a captivating spectacle, leaving observers eager to see how both Pickett and Stefanski navigate the next steps in this story that has already captured the imagination of fans, analysts, and insiders alike, setting the stage for drama, strategy, and high-stakes decision-making that could reverberate well beyond Cleveland. The timing of the announcement has added an extra layer of intrigue, coinciding with periods in the NFL calendar when trades and player movements are particularly scrutinized, amplifying speculation about strategic intentions and potential domino effects across multiple franchises. Stefanski's measured comments reflect an awareness of this dynamic, balancing public transparency with careful management of internal team dynamics, signaling to fans and players alike that the organization is taking both the individual and collective aspects seriously. The rumor suggests that Pickett's choice may influence other roster decisions, including potential shifts in offensive strategy, adjustments to supporting staff, or even recalibration of long-term team objectives, demonstrating how a single player's agency can cascade into complex organizational consequences. Analysts are dissecting past performances, leadership styles, and the potential fit of Pickett with other teams, combining statistical evaluation with narrative framing to paint a picture of possible futures, each scenario carrying both risk and reward for the player and potential suitors. Fan communities are engaged in lively debate, balancing loyalty to Cleveland with fascination over what new opportunities could emerge for Pickett elsewhere, blending emotion, logic, and speculation in a way that exemplifies modern sports fandom. This rumor, though still unfolding, has quickly become a central talking point in sports media, creating a high-energy environment in which every word, gesture, and decision is magnified, scrutinized, and interpreted in real time. Behind the scenes, agents, scouts, and team executives are rumored to be recalibrating their strategies, recognizing that Pickett's request introduces variables that could redefine market dynamics, trade values, and team-building priorities. The narrative, rich with tension, professional stakes, and human ambition, is capturing attention precisely because it straddles the line between personal agency and organizational necessity, reflecting deeper truths about the modern NFL landscape. Social media sentiment, insider leaks, and media analysis converge to create a multidimensional story that blends rumor, fact, and interpretation, keeping fans and observers captivated, while the Browns themselves prepare for the operational and emotional implications of a quarterback potentially on the move, highlighting the complex interplay between performance, loyalty, and professional autonomy in a high-stakes environment that rewards both strategic thinking and adaptability. Rumors indicate that Stefanski's acknowledgement of Pickett's request was not only a professional necessity, but also a calculated move to maintain trust within the locker room, signaling to other players that personal decisions are respected, even when they create immediate operational challenges. Analysts speculate that the Browns may now pivot their scouting priorities, targeting quarterbacks in upcoming drafts or free agency pools who could align with the team's long-term vision, while simultaneously negotiating to retain other key players whose confidence could be affected by Pickett's potential departure. The dynamics between player autonomy, team leadership, and public perception are creating a narrative tension that is as much about character and reputation as it is about wins and losses, highlighting the social dimensions of professional sports. Fans are interpreting every signal, from body language during press conferences to subtle wording in official statements, as indicators of what the future might hold, blending hope, anxiety, and speculation into an ongoing conversation that dominates forums, social media threads, and sports talk shows. The rumor has also spurred debate about broader NFL trends, with player movement increasingly framed as a natural evolution of professional agency, where talented athletes assert control over career trajectories rather than simply accepting team-imposed roles. Pickett's situation is emblematic of this cultural shift, illustrating how modern quarterbacks must navigate a landscape of performance expectations, market considerations, and personal ambitions, all under intense public scrutiny. Stefanski's role, meanwhile, is being viewed as a case study in leadership under pressure, balancing empathy, authority, and strategic foresight in managing both the immediate implications of Pickett's request and the longer-term objectives of the franchise. Observers are watching closely for the next move, whether Pickett will formally request a trade, whether other teams will enter discussions, and how the Browns will respond in a way that protects competitive interests while respecting the player's decision, creating a layered story that is unfolding in real time, captivating audiences with drama, strategy, and the human dimension of professional sports, reinforcing why the NFL remains a spectacle of high stakes, intense scrutiny, and deeply personal narratives that intersect with organizational imperatives and public fascination. The speculation surrounding Kenny Pickett's potential exit from the Cleveland Browns has reached a fever pitch, with sources claiming that internal discussions are intensifying as teams across the league begin quietly probing the situation. Every signal, from Pickett's public demeanor to subtle shifts in training routines, is being analyzed for hints of commitment or impending change, fueling a narrative that feels like a slow-burning story unfolding in real time. Stefanski's remarks, emphasizing respect for Pickett's wishes, have been interpreted as both a strategic acknowledgement and a subtle reassurance to the locker room, signaling that the organization values professional transparency and personal agency. Rumors suggest that the Browns may explore multiple scenarios simultaneously, including trade packages, draft positioning, or internal talent promotion, as they attempt to balance short-term performance with long-term strategy. Meanwhile, Pickett's representatives are reportedly gauging interest from franchises with quarterback needs, assessing not only financial packages, but system compatibility, coaching philosophy, and team culture, reflecting the sophisticated calculus behind modern athlete mobility. Fans are debating fiercely on social media, some advocating for loyalty and patience, others anticipating an inevitable transition, creating a charged atmosphere that amplifies every minor development into headline news. Sports analysts are connecting dots between Pickett's performance metrics, injury history, and market value, suggesting potential suitors who could offer both competitive opportunities and career stability. While insiders hint that discussions are ongoing, fluid, and complex, creating a narrative web that is equal parts rumor, speculation, and strategic maneuvering, leaving the NFL world on edge and hungry for the next development in what could be a defining moment for both player and franchise. Industry chatter indicates that Pickett's decision may be influenced by a combination of personal ambition, desire for system fit, and a broader assessment of his career trajectory, reflecting a modern trend where players actively shape their professional narratives rather than passively accept team-driven pathways. Stefanski's public statements are being dissected for subtext, with commentators analyzing phrasing, tone, and timing as indicators of the Browns' internal strategy and their willingness to negotiate or facilitate a move that aligns with Pickett's objectives. The rumor mill emphasizes that this is not merely a transactional scenario, but a multidimensional story involving leadership, psychology, team culture, and market dynamics, a convergence that has made every insider comment, social media leak, and press briefing an event in itself. Analysts are mapping potential trade destinations, evaluating quarterbacks' compatibility with offensive schemes, and speculating on contract structures, incentive packages, and future draft implications, turning a single player's request into a complex network of possibilities and scenarios that stretch across the league. Fans and media alike are closely tracking subtle shifts, from jersey sales trends to practice performance updates, interpreting even the smallest signal as a potential clue in a high-stakes chess game that affects not just Cleveland, but multiple teams simultaneously. The evolving story also raises questions about locker room morale, leadership dynamics, and organizational adaptability, with Stefanski positioned as both a caretaker of the team's immediate competitiveness and a facilitator of player autonomy, balancing empathy with strategic foresight. As the rumor continues to swirl, every piece of information is magnified, creating a narrative ecosystem where speculation, analysis, and fan perception feed into each other, intensifying anticipation and framing Pickett's potential departure as a story with league-wide ramifications. Sources indicate that internal Browns meetings have taken on an urgent tone as executives explore multiple contingency plans, including aggressive trade proposals, scouting alternative quarterbacks, or reshaping offensive strategy to accommodate a potential vacuum at the most critical position. Pickett's agency in this situation is viewed as both a personal statement and a professional maneuver, demonstrating awareness of market conditions, positional value, and career timing, all factors that contribute to his leverage in discussions with Cleveland and prospective suitors. Stefanski, meanwhile, is navigating a delicate balancing act, publicly affirming respect for Pickett's wishes while signaling to fans, players, and media that the franchise remains stable, competitive, and forward-thinking. The rumor highlights that this is not a sudden decision, but the culmination of months of reflection, evaluation, and dialogue, suggesting that Pickett has considered his role, opportunities, and future ambitions before arriving at the request that has now captivated the NFL community. Analysts are connecting the dots between Pickett's playing style, statistical performance, and leadership qualities, speculating on which franchises might benefit most from acquiring him, while also considering how the Browns could respond strategically to maintain competitiveness and fan engagement. Social media platforms have become echo chambers of speculation, with viral posts, memes, and hot takes adding layers of narrative complexity that shape public perception even before formal decisions are announced. The rumor ecosystem is thriving, blending facts, assumptions, and insider whispers into a story that transcends a single player-team relationship, touching on broader themes of agency, professionalism, and the evolving dynamics of elite sports. As the situation develops, every gesture, quote, and report is being scrutinized, magnifying the drama and ensuring that Pickett's decision, whatever it ultimately entails, will be a major talking point across the league for weeks to come. Whispers in the NFL community suggest that multiple teams have already expressed informal interest in Pickett, prompting speculation about trade feasibility, draft pick valuation, and potential salary structures, illustrating the complex calculus involved in acquiring a quarterback of his perceived talent. Stefanski's acknowledgement of Pickett's request has been interpreted as a sign of leadership that prioritizes transparency, mutual respect, and strategic foresight, sending a message to other players that the Browns are attentive to career aspirations, even when they intersect with operational challenges. Rumors suggest that discussions involve nuanced considerations, from playbook compatibility to locker room integration, highlighting how the acquisition of a quarterback is not merely about statistics, but a comprehensive evaluation of interpersonal, strategic, and cultural alignment. Fans are following every development with heightened intensity, dissecting interviews, practice observations, and insider comments, amplifying the drama and speculation as each new piece of information enters the public domain. Analysts are creating scenario simulations, evaluating short-term impact on game outcomes, long-term implications for draft positioning, and strategic ripple effects across multiple franchises, demonstrating the interconnectedness of player movement decisions in a highly competitive league. Pickett's potential departure also serves as a case study in player agency, illustrating how elite athletes can leverage market conditions, positional scarcity, and personal performance to influence organizational decisions and public narratives. Meanwhile, the Browns must navigate the operational, emotional, and strategic consequences of a quarterback-seeking exit, balancing immediate competitiveness with long-term vision while managing fan expectations. The narrative is evolving rapidly, blending rumor, speculation, strategic analysis, and cultural commentary, creating an immersive story that captures the intensity, uncertainty, and drama inherent to modern professional football, ensuring that every observer is captivated, theorizing, and waiting for the next pivotal development. Insider sources claim that Pickett's discussions with the Browns are ongoing, with multiple options being weighed, from contract renegotiations to potential relocation, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of how player mobility intersects with franchise strategy. Stefanski's public statements serve as both reassurance and narrative framing, emphasizing professional respect while maintaining credibility with fans, teammates, and league observers, signaling that the organization is handling a sensitive scenario with deliberate care. Analysts speculate that Pickett's potential destinations could dramatically influence competitive balance, with teams evaluating system fit, coaching compatibility, and long-term trajectory, demonstrating the multifaceted nature of quarterback acquisitions. Rumors highlight that the Browns are concurrently exploring internal solutions, including the potential elevation of backups, strategic play adjustments, or scouting trades that could provide immediate or future benefit, showcasing the operational complexity of managing a franchise under uncertainty. Fans are dissecting every signal, combining emotional attachment with analytical reasoning, generating discussions that span social media, forums, and sports commentary shows, amplifying the story's visibility and impact. The situation exemplifies the convergence of talent, ambition, market dynamics, and strategic leadership, underscoring how a single player's decision can create cascading effects across a league where competition, media scrutiny, and fan engagement are intertwined. As the rumor circulates, each new statement, leak, or speculation adds fuel to a narrative fire that promises drama, strategic maneuvering, and human intrigue, reinforcing why stories like Pickett's resonate far beyond Cleveland, captivating the NFL audience and shaping discourse about player agency, organizational adaptability, and the unpredictable nature of professional football. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Industry chatter suggests that Pickett's leverage in this scenario is enhanced by positional scarcity, market demand, and his perceived upside, allowing him to explore options strategically and negotiate from a position of strength. Stefanski's acknowledgement of the request, while maintaining professionalism, signals to players and the league that Cleveland respects agency and career ambition, a leadership style increasingly observed among modern NFL coaches navigating high-stakes personnel decisions. Rumors indicate that the Browns are actively modeling scenarios for both retention and departure, exploring draft implications, trade assets, and potential quarterback development plans, reflecting a multi-layered organizational approach to risk and opportunity management. Analysts are speculating on likely destinations, system fits, and strategic advantages, connecting dots between Pickett's style, team needs, and broader league trends, creating a web of narrative complexity that fuels ongoing media and fan discourse. Social media amplifies every nuance, with supporters and detractors interpreting events through a lens of loyalty, curiosity, and anticipation, reinforcing the story's prominence and emotional resonance. Beyond immediate implications, this situation illustrates the evolving landscape of player mobility, where performance, ambition, and negotiation intersect with organizational strategy, shaping both the league's competitive dynamics and its public narrative. The unfolding drama reflects the interplay of personal decision-making, professional respect, and strategic foresight, demonstrating how individual choices reverberate through team culture, operational planning, and fan perception, emphasizing that football is as much a story of human ambition and leadership as it is about statistics and wins. Rumors suggest that internal Browns communications are focusing not only on strategic response, but also on morale, optics, and long-term planning, highlighting the multifaceted considerations prompted by a star player seeking exit. Stefanski's remarks, emphasizing respect for Pickett's wishes, are being dissected for implications about leadership philosophy, locker room dynamics, and the organization's approach to player relations, signaling a deliberate and thoughtful management style. Analysts speculate that Pickett's potential move could trigger broader ripple effects across the league, influencing quarterback markets, trade negotiations, and team-building strategies, demonstrating the interconnected nature of modern NFL operations. Fans are highly engaged, combining analytics, emotion, and speculation, resulting in dynamic discourse across platforms that amplifies the rumor and increases pressure on both the player and franchise. Industry insiders indicate that every aspect, from scouting reports to draft positioning, is being evaluated in light of Pickett's potential departure, illustrating the comprehensive operational impact of a single player's agency. The narrative combines rumor, strategic speculation, and human interest, creating an ongoing storyline rich in tension, uncertainty, and professional stakes, which is captivating audiences and keeping media attention focused squarely on Cleveland. The situation also highlights the cultural shift in sports where players increasingly assert autonomy, and teams must balance competitive imperatives with respect for individual ambitions, a dynamic that adds both drama and complexity to league narratives. As discussions continue, each new development, quote, or leak contributes to a growing storyline that blends professional football, strategy, emotion, and spectacle, ensuring that the saga of Kenny Pickett and the Browns will dominate conversation, analysis, and speculation for weeks, if not months, to come. Sources hint that the Browns are preparing for multiple eventualities, modeling the operational, strategic, and emotional implications of both retaining and losing Pickett, demonstrating a forward-thinking approach to risk management in a high-stakes environment. Stefanski's measured acknowledgement of Pickett's request is being viewed as a tactical communication, balancing transparency, professionalism, and reassurance, signaling stability to fans, players, and media alike. Rumors indicate that discussions may involve trade negotiations, draft considerations, and alternative roster strategies, reflecting the intricate calculus teams must perform in response to high-profile player decisions. Analysts are projecting potential outcomes, evaluating system fit, organizational culture, and market value, creating a network of speculative insights that dominate sports discourse and fan engagement. Social media activity surrounding the story continues to grow, with every minor update amplified and interpreted as a clue, adding layers to the narrative and heightening anticipation. The saga highlights the intersection of personal ambition, organizational strategy, and public perception, illustrating how modern professional sports narratives are constructed and consumed in real time, with implications for competitive balance, player agency, and franchise reputation. As the rumor continues to unfold, the story serves as a lens into the evolving dynamics of the NFL, capturing the drama, uncertainty, and strategic complexity that make the league compelling while keeping audiences eagerly anticipating the next chapter in Pickett's journey and Cleveland's response. The ongoing speculation about Kenny Pickett's future with the Cleveland Browns underscores the high-stakes nature of NFL decision-making, where personal ambition, market dynamics, and organizational strategy intersect in ways that reverberate across the league. Stefanski's public comments, emphasizing respect and professionalism, have been interpreted as signals of strategic leadership, balancing acknowledgement of a player's agency with the need to maintain operational stability and fan confidence. Rumors indicate that the franchise is exploring multiple courses of action, from aggressive trade negotiations to internal talent development, highlighting the complexity of roster management and the ripple effects a single quarterback can have on team performance, morale, and strategic planning. Analysts are dissecting metrics, evaluating fit, and projecting possible outcomes, creating an ecosystem of speculation that blends statistical analysis, insider insights, and narrative framing, generating excitement, debate, and uncertainty. Fans, media, and stakeholders are closely following every development, interpreting subtle cues, media statements, and practice observations, creating a feedback loop that amplifies drama and intensifies interest. The situation illustrates broader themes in modern sports, including player empowerment, organizational adaptability, and the interplay between personal ambition and professional responsibility. Each new report or rumor adds to the unfolding narrative, ensuring that the story of Pickett and the Browns remains a central talking point, captivating audiences with its blend of drama, strategy, and human intrigue, and serving as a vivid reminder of how individual decisions can ripple through an entire league, shaping perception, strategy, and competitive dynamics for months to come. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!